Hey, I am here today to help you set up your brand new Zoom H4n recorder for voiceover and for on-camera work. Before we get going, there's a couple of things we have to make sure that we have. Number one, if you open that little door on the side, you'll see that you should have a little SD card. It should be at least, I would say at least a 16 gig. Now you're going to put that in, and that's the first thing. Second thing is, if you have not yet put your batteries in, put them in. But if you already have, notice that on the back there's a little stamina switch, it's called. Now we want to make sure that that stamina switch is off. We do not want it on because it reduces some of the functions in here. So make sure that's off, or else things will not work right. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to power the unit on. And the way we do that is we have a little switch on the side here, and we hold it down for a split second. There we go. All right, now the next thing we do is we're going to have to do some of the settings for recording. One of the things we want to do is set our file format, first of all. So we're going to go to this side of the unit, and we'll notice that we have a number of buttons here. We have a scroll wheel, a menu button, and a record level button. We are going to be using all three of these buttons. We're going to start by using the menu button, which will get us to this menu, and then we will start by scrolling down, and we will go to SD card. Now the SD card, I've pre-formatted it, and it may tell you that the card is not formatted when you start up the unit. So you're going to go to SD card, and you're going to click. When you click, you're just going to push that little scroll wheel in. That little button is right on the same scroll wheel. So push it, format. Are you sure? Yes, and click, and it will go through a 15-second format of the card. So I've already formatted, so I'm going to hit no. Now I'm going to go back to the menu, and we are going to go to record. And what we're going to do there is we are going to set our format, our file format. Right now, we're going to click on it. It's set to 1644, and we want to go to 4816, which is our standard sampling frequency and format. We click that. Good. That's done. Now we're going to back out of the menu again by hitting the menu key. And we are going to go to input. Once we're there, we're going to go down to 1 to link, and we are going to click that off. We're going to set that to off. Good. And what that does is that unlinks 1 and 2 inputs so that we're no longer in stereo. We can set those levels independently. Now the important thing to remember with a Lav mic is that it runs on phantom power. And on your Lav mic, you may see a long barrel that is attached to this XLR connector, and it's a place that you can put a battery in. I don't want you to use the battery. I want you to use fresh batteries in the Zoom, and then we will set the Zoom to 48 volt phantom power, and it will power both the microphone and the Zoom. And what that does is it just makes sure that every time you start a new shoot day, you replace those batteries, and you've got new batteries in your Zoom and new batteries in your microphone. So we're going to set the phantom power in here, and the way we do that is, once again, we're going to go to the menu, and we are going to go to input, and we're going to click that scrolling button, and we're going to go down until we get to phantom. So normally it will be off. You're going to set it to plus 48, not 24. Click that. Now we have 48 volt. Now what we can do is plug in a microphone. Now I have this cable here already pre-plugged in, and well, let's just plug it into one. So you can see that those are the two ends right there. We're going to plug the mic cable in. There we go. Now what we're going to do is we're going to switch from mic here. You can see that the mic light is on, but that means that it's these two microphones working right now. And that's not what we want. we want to use these external mics. So we're going to click 1 or 2, and 1 and 2 lights will both click on. There we go. That tells us now we're using these 2. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the levels of our microphone. And the way we do that to start with is to click the record button once briefly until it blinks. And there we go. It is blinking. We can already see that we have level coming in. But what we do to set the level, being that we're in number 1, we'll click this number 1 switch that's right here, and we'll use the record adjust to add input or take away input. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click this number 1 switch. There we go. The input level is going, and I can turn it up and I can turn it down. Now the important thing to remember is I want those levels somewhere around halfway. A little bit more is great. We just do not want them hitting the end bars there. That's too hot. But if we've got them going halfway, ba, 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 ba. Now, in order to start recording, assuming we've checked the levels and we go, that's all great, we're ready to start recording, then it's simple. We're going to hit this record button until it lights up, and there we go. We can stop the recording by hitting that button. You can take the card out, bring it to your card reader in your computer and fastpex it or email it or transfer it through Zoom or however we're doing it. Now, keep in mind that when you're recording shows, it's really important that if you're doing multiple episodes in a day, you do one episode, you record it, you hit stop, and then restart the thing. Because the problem with digital recordings is sometimes, for some reason, the files will corrupt. And if a file corrupts and you've only done episode 1, then only episode 1 is done for. But if you do all 3-4 episodes in a day and then stop the thing, you're in danger of having a very long, very corrupt file, and you'll have to record the whole thing over again. So it's important to stop in between takes or in between episodes and then continue on. So that's it. If you have any questions, most of you know where to find me. You have my phone number. Give me a call and I'll help you through any difficulties you might have. So good luck. Thanks.